Welcome to Hashtag Narrative, a Football Manager podcast where we sit around the virtual campfire and recount stories from past saves. Today, co-presenter is back. Hello, Kev.
Hello. I assumed that bit was pre-recorded when we did it on the first week. I didn't realise you did it all in one go out loud like that.
No, I've got professional now. I'm trying to follow in your footsteps. But before we continue, we must introduce our special guest. There we go. It didn't take long for me to screw it up. Special guest, not that special, as in, you know what I mean.
I agree. He's not that special. Spot on.
I'm trying not to insult Dave, but also not insulting the people that are mentally challenged special is what I was trying to get across.
Just tell people who's here and stop talking.
I've just offended everyone. So, Dave, it's a pleasure to have you here. Hello.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be on as well.
After that.
Yeah, how does it feel to be not that special?
Just about, yeah.
Well, this is the last episode before Christmas because me and Kev have collectively decided that we're going to have a break, and so it will return on the 9th. Well, we're going to return to recording on the 9th, so it will be on the following Saturday or Sunday. I haven't quite.
Well, is this going to be before Christmas then? Is this not going to come out on Christmas Day? Is this our Christmas special?
This is going to be a Christmas Eve special.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
So,
love that.
So when people are unwrapping their presents, maybe wrapping their presents. They can listen to it on both days, I suppose. So either wrapping or unwrapping your presents, but it's a little Christmas delight for you all to enjoy.
Perfect.
There we go. Okay, so as we're all here, we all know why we're here now. This is the third one. We should understand. We've got Dave in. We want to know about his Football Manager career. So we're going to delve and jump straight into it before Kev decides he's going to start throwing questions towards Dave that are highly inappropriate for the subject matter.
I have a couple prepared this week as well.
No, that defies the logic of you interjecting, because I thought it was supposed to be spontaneous and off the cuff and completely
when I say prepared, I've just sort of jotted them down on a scrap of paper while he was
That's
fixing
still
his
more
microphone.
Prepared than you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we better not talk about Dave's pre-production issues, but hey-oh. Right, Okay, obvious question, Dave. When did FM or Football Manager, when did it first grab you? Not that way, obviously. To be fair, I was recording something earlier and I did not do one single dick joke, so there's a lot in me in terms of not. There's a lot of dick jokes in me, not a lot of dick. Clarifying that again. There we go. I've got 3 in so far, so we're going great guns. Anyway, I'll let you answer the question now, rather than dominating this discussion.
Yeah, no problem. I think because for me, it's going to be a little bit different for me rather than everyone else, because I'll probably be one of the, if not the youngest guy on the kind of podcast. You are a baby, aren't you, really? Yeah, and so for me, I was still, my first Football Manager was in the actual Football Manager series. It wasn't like a Championship Manager or anything like that. So, exactly.
You don't even appreciate the glory days, the golden years.
No, I went straight in and it was all 2D. I got it good. So
we learnt to read with this game. That's why we're all such good readers.
Yeah,
apart from me.
When you were first doing the show with Jack and so on, I kind of had a different story. But when I was actually thinking about it, how I actually got into the game, it kind of triggered. So I was still in primary school at the time, and I went round a friend's house after school, and he was on his PC and he was playing like some sort of manager game, and I was looking, and it was Wolves Manager, so it was Wolves' own management game. So obviously you just manage Wolves and kind of go from there. I don't think that was like a 2D match engine or anything like that. And
why didn't that one catch on to be the big one that we all played today?
So I went home like the weekend after, and I thought, you know what, that game was quite good, so I'd actually like kind of want to go into that, because at the time I was still kind of playing FIFA and stuff like that. And said, have you? FM07 was my first one. I probably didn't take the game too seriously until like 09 onwards, but FM07 was the first one that I got and kind of captured my attention as such. And I know Dan and Jack were talking about kind of other management games that they'd played. I think I played LMA before that on PS2, as I think those two did as well. And I can't remember if it was before or after, but I did play a FIFA Manager game as well. but I can't remember if it was before I started playing FM or after. It was FIFA Manager 06, and I was kind of addicted to that game at one point, only because of the match engine more than anything, because it was literally like the FIFA 05 match engine. So yeah, but since then I've played every Football Manager and I've fallen in love with it, really.
Well, that's awfully good to hear. I'm sure Miles will be pleased that you were won over from, well, the wonderful Wolves manager. They should have that as the name, to be honest. Alliteration and everything like that. And obviously, FIFA manager, well, that shower of shit. Yeah. Less better said than that. Oh, I've got the words all the wrong way around again. Oh, I'm turning into Yoda. Anyway. Right, I suppose Kev's got no questions. No, good. Right.
Well, no, I had a question that sort of linked into. I have two questions off the back of him being very young. Because my first one is: did you just say you were at primary school when FM07 came out?
Let me think. What was it? FM07 when it? 06. Let me think. That's 10 years ago. Yeah, it was, because I was only 9.
Oh,
yeah, I was 9 when it.
So on that basis, does that mean I started playing Football Manager games before you were even born?
97 I was born, so probably, yeah.
Oh, goodness me, yeah. Wow. Get older now.
That's actually crazy. That is.
Yeah. I mean, I started playing 5 years before you were born. I'm just going to go and cry in the corner. You two go about your business. I'm sad now.
It's quite sad that I was actually at university. I was doing my dissertation for university when Dave was in primary school, so that's scary enough for me. On FM07, that was the one of the games that destroyed my my degree. Got a Desmond in the end, for anyone who cares. No one does. So, for anyone who doesn't understand the term Desmond either, 2-2. All right,
some of us don't understand it because we didn't ever look that far down the ranking list. What,
bastard?
There's something that far down? Goodness me!
Oh, all right, captain first. My wife got a first. I'm fully ready to be, cajoled and be the second-class citizen, or the second-class citizen in this household. Even the dog's got a better degree than I am.
And on this podcast. Excellent.
Right. For anyone who hasn't realised, Kev is in one of those moods. So
look, Sheffield Wednesday's goalkeeper wears the number 2. It really upsets me. It's thrown me off completely. It happened 5 minutes before the show started. Well, presumably it's been going on all season. It only happened in my world 5 minutes before the show started. I had an irrational overreaction at it whilst recording a video, and I've still not recovered. So, yeah, that's exactly the mood I'm in.
Excellent. So we're now getting the brunt of Sheffield Wednesday being dicks with shirt numbers.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Okay. We'll move this on before it gets any worse. What is your most favouriteest, and I say this every time, it's been twice so far, but it will be every time, and it is in the dictionary, I assure you. For anyone who wants to bother checking, miss that page that says favourite, and it's a few after it. It's not there. What is your most favouriteest, Dave, and why is it your most favouriteest?
This is a hard question because there's people obviously that you know of, and probably you two as well, have gone like 10, 15 years, possibly 20 years obviously into the save. I don't think I've actually ever done that with a save as such, because
I wonder why that is.
But like
we'll get onto that in a bit.
But like I've got a few that still kind of stick in my head. There's one which was FM09, and I was Wolves manager, and at the time I always used to give myself like the best attributes, like ex-international footballer and all that sort of stuff. So
you mean basically cheating?
Yeah. So like,
but he was 9. Cut him some slack.
I was 11.
Oh no, he was in senior school by now.
I was still like year 5, year 6 at this point. So, yeah, I took the Wolves. But basically, with those stats, you could get sacked from any team or sign any player for any club, more or less, because like your reputation.
Did you just say with those stats you could get sacked by any team? That is literally what you just said.
You could get sacked, but
you could maybe.
But you could say you manage at League 2, a Premier League team would still poach you to be the manager and stuff like that at that point. So I had a Wolves save, and we got promoted from that. And it was like every year we'd kind of we'd play well, but just not quite enough to stay up. So we got relegated like twice. Like got relegated, got promoted back again, got relegated again. And at that point, I thought, I'm never actually going to establish Wolves as a Premier League club on this save. So I just left. And then I got the Liverpool job, and kind of from there, I just kind of fell in love with that save, because it wasn't as if I was getting the Liverpool job and we were walking it every season. We were like still kind of knocking on the door for top 4. And it was the year where, you had your Freddie Adu's, your John Flecks and so on. And luckily enough, I was able to get John Fleck from Rangers for Liverpool. But Freddie Adu was already like one of the best players in the Premier League at this point, because we were already like 3 or 4 years into the game. So I had John Fleck. I also signed Stephen Fletcher. I think I signed him for Wolves originally from like Hibernian. I signed him again for Liverpool, and John Fleck and Stephen Fletcher up front were like insane, and they went on to win the Euros with Scotland as well. So that's like one of the biggest kind of like crazy football manager moments that I've had. Like 2 of my players like bossing it for Scotland. So there was that save. I think FM 12. I can't remember all the details of this one, but that was a Spurs save, which I had like a really good team on that. We went on to win the FA Cup. I remember actually I won the FA Cup at the time. I think, how old was I? 2012. So that was about 13, 14. And I just got a girlfriend, and so like one of my first like major kind of things that happened. And she came round, and I was like, I'm gonna just get the laptop on or chill, like play Football Manager. And I won the FA Cup while she was there.
FM and chill. I didn't realise this started at age 13.
I won the FA Cup while she was there, so I thought like
I do not condone this behaviour, by the way. FM and chill. But
the crazy thing was, it was against United. We were 1-0 down, and then it was like a Champions League 1999. Like we scored 2 last-minute winners, and I thought, like, how can I celebrate this? Like, this is a brand new girlfriend I've had for like a week. So I don't think it lasted much longer than a week, to be honest. After that,
I wonder why.
I don't think I saw her after that moment, but yeah, that save was always good. But since then, I've had a couple of good journeyman saves on like FM 13, 14, kind of when I wasn't quite breaking into YouTube. So probably my most notable one was 2 or 3 years ago. I did one with I started unemployed, no qualifications, so on. Got Bristol Rovers job. And I jumped straight from the conference. We won conference, won League 2, won League... Did we win? No, we did pretty well in League 1. And I wish I stayed, but in the end I left. And in the end, after a few more years, I was kind of like a solid championship manager, getting playoffs and that. But in the end, we got Brighton to the playoff final. Not the playoff final. Got Brighton into the Europa League in the Premier League. And kind of it was at the end of the FM life cycle as such. So... that's probably one of the more noticeable ones. But as I say, my kind of FM saves as a whole haven't been maybe as interesting as some other people's have. But in recent years, I probably haven't had like immense saves as such. I've had saves that I've enjoyed, but none of note as such, I'd say.
See, I have a similar story to yours, although it's perhaps worse. Because I actually took my laptop on honeymoon with me.
Oh dear!
It was at the time I was trained to be a teacher, so I needed it for the course that I was supposed to be doing. But got to the FA Cup final with Blackburn, which doesn't happen very often, and I was like 2-0 up by half time, and I was like, this is abnormal. And then I scored a third, and I went a bit too mental for like honeymoon time, really, for scoring a goal. And I just said, just won the FA Cup, which is like, and didn't even give a shit.
On the honeymoon as well.
Couldn't have given less of a shit. I was like, do you not appreciate how big this is for me? And she's like, no.
Yeah, I don't think they appreciate it that much.
No.
Yeah.
No shit's given.
Other than that, I can't really think of much. No, it's more kind of journeyman saves as a whole has been my most enjoyable thing, to be fair. And
do you prefer like the slower burners, like you were saying about like when with Liverpool, where it was a bit more of a long slog, sort of, you were vying for 4th spot as opposed to vying for the championship? Do you enjoy those more than you would say something where you get instant success?
I'd probably say so. Yeah, I think it always does get a little bit boring when you're winning every game and such. But to be fair, there is another save which was, I think it was FM 14 or 15. I did this Chelsea save, and that was one of the ones where there was instant success as such, but there was still a lot to kind of build and so on. And I actually had. That's my only save that I think I've got far enough. I think I'm not sure if it's kind of a thing on FM when you go 3 or 4 years into the game, you get a couple of regens of your like nationality. So I had a couple of Maltese regens in there, which is the only ever time I've got that. And they were both like 5-star, but again, I never really got as far or too far into the game to see how they turned out as such. But yeah, with there was times where I used to like walk the league and kind of enjoy it as such. But yeah, I do prefer longer haul saves, journeyman, where you got to work your way up and so on and so forth, and like getting promoted and working.
Sorry to interject. What are Maltese known as? Is it Maltese or is it Maltesers?
Just Maltese, people do call them Maltesers. I used to get called that at school, but I thought at one point I was just like, yeah, whatever.
Chocolate
or whenever we're like
a soft, crunchy centre.
whenever we're out and like someone's got a pack of Maltesers, like, oh, I'm eating your uncle. I'm like, oh yeah, brilliant.
That is bad. That's like one of my jokes.
Yeah.
So, your favourite players from any save, would it have been John Fleck or Stephen Fletcher that you previously mentioned, or were there more that sort of stood out for you?
I'd probably say, John Fleck's definitely up there from that save. I can't really think of much other people that would like kind of stand out. Other saves, there was there's from the journeyman save, that one that I started with Bristol Rovers. As soon as I joined the club, I loaned a striker called Dominic Knowles I think he was from Burton Albion, and he like literally got like a goal to game ratio in conference and League Two. So he probably stands out a lot. And who else was a regen on another journeyman save I did for Welling United? Was it Welling? No, I think he played for Whitehawk though. He was called Sinskay Hadland. I think he was like half Singaporean, half English or something like that. But he was like at lower level. I don't think he'd ever have cut it in like League One, Championship upwards. But at conference level, he was an absolute beast. Other than that, kind of notable players wise, I've never kind of got to the point where I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get a Wolves shirt with flipping, like Bakayoko on the back or something like that. So, like some people have done. I've never kind of got to that point where I really need to get that players on the back of the shirt. But this year so far, I've probably had. On my stream save with Wolves, I've got a notable Italian striker called Pinamonti, who I think he plays at Inter or Juve in real life. Yeah, he's probably been my best kind of revelation signing at the moment. We got him on a free and he's doing bits in the Premier League. But other than that, I think it's that again. I haven't really had many notable players as such that I'd actually go, I'd go and have a look at in every FM save.
So you don't have a particular affinity for any of them?
No, not really. No. Again, I think everyone does kind of has a look at like Freddie Adu and stuff like that, but I don't think I even managed him.
Even now, I think I still look for Freddie Adu. I
don't think I ever managed him as such though. I don't think so.
Does he still exist? Let me have a look.
He plays for Tampa Bay Rowdies, I think.
Freddie, I'm 6 years in the future. He probably doesn't exist in my save anymore. Let's have a look. Freddie.
I know he still plays in real life, just about, but.
He's not in my save anymore, so I guess he's retired in 2021.
Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure, yeah. But
thing is, he's a highlight reel player now, isn't he? That he is like the American Junior Hoylett.
Yeah.
That he'll score a worldie, and then you'll never hear from him for the rest of the season. I was actually going to ask Kev about John Fleck and his experience with him, particularly sort of further down the years, because obviously he's sort of languishing in League One at the moment. Is he still at Coventry?
I believe he is. Yeah. Central midfielder now. Yeah. Used to be a striker when he was any good, if I remember.
Striker and a winger,
I think he plays in midfield for them. Saw him play against Posh maybe last year or the year before. Not as scary as I expected him to be when I saw his name on the team sheet. I think didn't really work out for him, did it?
No. I think that's the FM-itis catching again, isn't it? Like expectations grossly out of proportion.
It was strange with him because I'm pretty sure, I can't remember off the top of my head, I'm sure he kind of, at the time when he was kind of quite highly rated, he made a first team appearance for Rangers. I'm sure he scored on his debut, and that was it. All the Rangers.
He was a flame that sort of died. I don't know if it was personal issues.
Might have been like Marcada, really, wasn't it? Like for Man U, probably.
Too much too soon again, I think, and other bits. And it's not a case of he hasn't got the ability. It's just he perhaps doesn't have the.
I mean, he's still quite young, actually. He's only 25 now.
26. He's
at Sheffield United now, not Coventry. Yeah.
Has he? He has been. I was going to say.
Yeah. But yeah,
because I know he'd sort of rebuilt himself at Coventry. I remember seeing. I think I saw Coventry not too long ago. Yeah, he's one of those players that sometimes looks too good for the division he's in, and then other times he'll go completely missing.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things with him. But I thought that Freddie Adu at the time, because I remember when he was in America for like DC United and that, I'd always have a look at him, and he moved to Benfica at one point, and I was actually in Portugal the year he moved, and we did like a stadium tour of Benfica because that's what we were in Lisbon and stuff like that. And I'm fairly sure if I had a look far enough from about 8 or 9 years ago, there's a picture of me with Freddie Adu's shirt. So if I put that on like Facebook now, everyone's going to be like, who the fuck's Freddie Adu? You know what I mean? Like, who's Adu? Like, but for me, like, I was like, everyone there as well. Like, why are you having a picture with that shirt with Adu?
Well, it's like Cherno Samba though. Like, unless you played Football Manager or Championship Manager back then, you'll have no clue who Cherno Samba is. And he featured in the advert for 2017 this year. But if you haven't, if you don't have that longevity of playing it for so long, because he was basically a one-hit wonder in Football Manager or Championship Manager terms at the time. He was a complete anomaly because he was in this, because you signed him from Millwall and he was in the same team as like a young Stephen Reed, a young Lucas Neal, like who both. I mean, you can say. Lucas Neal more so because he's won a lot of caps for Australia.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Australia. And Stephen Reed did score that absolute worldie against Wigan for Blackburn. But other than that, he's not really achieved a huge amount. But then there was a few others in fact, no, Tim Cahill was also in that Millwall team. So like they had ridiculous, and he would have been like, 23 at the time.
Yeah.
So they had a ridiculously good young set of players to just poach from. Sorry, Kev.
Have you got a jingle ready for our new feature, Kev's Statistics Corner?
We can do. I can let you do one if you want.
I'll sing one later and send you the file.
Excellent. I will use it as well.
We'll give that a moment to play. There it was. I'm just looking up Freddie Adu. So, 27-year-old Freddie Adu. How many games do you reckon he's played in the last 4 years?
Is this a higher or lower situation?
About 7.
He's played more than 7. Very many more than 7 though.
11.
He's played 19 games in the last 4 years. 8 of them were in the Finnish league. 2 of them were in the Brazilian league. And then he's apparently back in America now playing for the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
See, I had a look.
Where he doesn't play either.
I think he's been released now. I'm not sure. But yeah,
he was a
nightclub,
wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a nightclub promoter for a little bit as well. See, I think he's left Tampa Bay Rowdies now.
So he's done now, is he, at the age of 27?
Actually, I'm not sure, because on Wikipedia it doesn't say that he's left.
Tampa Bay Rowdies are his 12th professional club, according to Wikipedia, at the age of 27.
That's like...
#journeyman.
But he did date American singer JoJo between May 2005 and September 2006.
Obviously know why.
So...
That's why they're
so, and he's good friends with Ryan Seacrest, apparently. So
Seabiscuit.
Wow, there you go. That's the end of Kev's Statistics Corner. Move on.
Didn't he have trials at Blackpool at one point as well?
There's no way of knowing.
He had a trial at United
now.
He did.
Yeah, because
anyway, we've
people
finished
saying
this.
He's like Pele's nephew and stuff like that.
Well, that's a rather tenuous link.
Yeah, trials.
not even remotely Brazilian.
Hang on, he's played 2 games in Brazil.
Yeah, but he comes from Ghana.
Wow,
his parents are from Ghana. There's one very obvious link, but that is it, and it's rather racist, even if it is kind of obvious. We'll move on because this could be dangerous territory that we're eking into, even for YouTube and their censorship policies. So, out of any of those saves that you mentioned, Dave, would you be tempted to go back to any of them? I'm quite aware that you tend to play Wolves as Wolves quite frequently. Anyway, I mean, I used to do that when I was Blackburn before I started like uploading things for everyone else's enjoyment.
He wishes Wolves manager had caught him. He's trying to make his own version of it.
No, kind of with the say the Liverpool save as such, because Liverpool was the kind of team that made it. I think I'd go back to Liverpool if I do that as such on YouTube or if it'd be offline. I'm not so sure because I know even on YouTube quite a few. I mean, Kev, you did it, didn't you? And I think two of it.
We don't talk about me at Liverpool.
2 or 3 others did it as well.
That never happened.
So I think people would enjoy that. It'd be something interesting to watch as well. With the other ones, it's more the ones I've enjoyed are more journeyman saves, so they're kind of random. Bristol Rovers, I think, would be a decent save to look at, like as just a club to start at. But yeah, I don't think I'd have no regrets. There is obviously some teams like which we probably go on to later that I probably wouldn't look at again as a whole. But yeah, there's some teams in there that I'd probably have a look at doing again, like because there's no real like. I know Jack kind of said it with the Gibraltar thing that he probably wouldn't go back because he wouldn't want to leave it on a sour note and stuff like that. But there's probably I've never really got that far into a save to make me think, oh, that's ruined kind of what happened on FM09 now. Like, I really regret this. So, yeah, I'd probably look at doing them again. Yeah, for sure.
I suppose enough time has passed now for that.
Yeah,
that's getting on for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I've still got the laptop with that game on. It's just that I don't think I've got a charger for it because I wanted to do like a video looking at it like a few months ago.
We'll have words and I can tell you how we can extract it if you want.
Yeah. So, I wanted to do that, like when FM16 kind of died. I wanted to do some like old videos, but I love that save so much. So yeah, we'll have a chat and we'll try and get it on.
Absolutely, we'll sort that out. Well, that was a rather easy way of answering that question. That was a lot quicker than I expected. So, and in fact, the reason why I'm so surprised is because my final question is the sour note. And it's one that you've had quite a lot of experience with,
we could talk
particularly
about this,
recently.
Yeah.
And well, you've uploaded the saves up onto YouTube, so I'm assuming you're man enough to admit that what's happened. Yeah. So I'll ask the question and I'll let you reel off however many you want to reel off. But have you ever been sacked?
Right. So I'll start from the first ever time I'd got sacked. To be fair, before last year or the year before, I can't remember off the top of my head me being sacked ever from a club on Football Manager, but off the top of my head I can't remember. There probably was a time maybe, but the first one on YouTube was, or it might have been the second one. There was one for sure. I did a small Blackpool series and I thought, I'll start this up, see how it goes, and it was kind of, it took a while. I didn't really enjoy it that much. And then there was a point where I started playing it a little bit more. And I thought, actually, this is quite good. And then we were kind of lingering outside the relegation zone. And they just sacked me. And I was like, brilliant. But I don't like... I'm not saying there is. But I bet there is one, maybe 2 people on YouTube that maybe kind of restart and just hope and just carry on the save. But I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to come out from it. It's hard to kind of like edit it in or kind of explain it as well. Just like as in 5 episodes in, you just stop in the series straight away. So I just thought, you just
got to own that bad boy. That's how you do it.
So I thought, I'll just give up the ghost, and because I'll probably get sacked again during the season if I ever did want to reload it. So I thought, go on then. I also did it was a network save last year called Mid-Table Clash, and that was with 3 other YouTubers. One of them, JNO United, who I think you guys know, and I was Swansea, and we signed like Pione Sisto, and we were doing really, really well. And then all of a sudden he got injured, and then it was just a horrible fall. So we got sacked from that as well. So that was a little bit less embarrassing because I had the other guys to I think another guy in the save got sacked as well, so it wasn't as bad. And then most recently, so how long's the game been out?
This is I love this answer. This is making me feel so much better.
The game's been out how long? About a month and a half, and I've already been sacked twice. So I did a Real Madrid beta save. I thought, you know what, for the beta save, I'll do like kind of a strong team, try and get into the game a little bit more, get used to some tactics, use some big players for a change, and literally nothing worked. Like, Ronaldo was injured at the start of the season, but like start of the season we beat Barcelona. I thought, you know what, Benzema's going to be an absolute god. Got like low key and full time FM, and everyone to like big up flipping Benzema. And then like since then, I think I jinxed it because literally everything we did was rubbish. I don't think we didn't qualify out of our Champions League group or anything. And in the end, we got sacked. But I got ripped into for that because I signed Rooney, and everyone was like, "Why have you signed Wayne Rooney?" I thought for Real Madrid, the team's pretty solid. And Rooney, okay, he's not he's like peak anymore, but he's a really versatile player who, as a backup, could do a job for Real Madrid. It's not as if he's going to be playing like teams like Barcelona every week. Like, he should manage the smaller Spanish teams. So I just got absolutely ripped for that. And then, so when that series finished, I thought, I need to start. Do I do my main save now, or what do I do? So I waited a few days, and my young sister's boyfriend plays for Rotherham. So he gave me like some free Rotherham stuff, and I thought, I'd seen like Boot FM and stuff. He'd wearing his like Huddersfield gear and stuff. I thought, that'd be quite cool. And I wasn't expecting it to get like hundreds of views at all, because no disrespect to Rotherham, it's not like they're an absolutely massive team. And I thought, first,
you try managing in Spain in the third tier.
And I thought that I was going to get
who?
I thought I was going to get sacked first season with Rotherham, and I thought I can't like get sacked again. So and even in the second season, I think we went 12 games without winning a game, and so I thought, this is going to be an absolutely shocking year for Football Manager for me, because I think it was this year they just literally turned the games, like, you can't plug and play anymore. Like, you really, really have to look into the game and kind of work on your tactics and work on your players and press conferences and that a lot more.
See, I don't think that is the case. I think it's a lot more gamey than it's been, in terms of, like, I think if you try to think about it and try to apply too much footballing logic, it doesn't, like, if you overthink stuff, it works best with simple.
In the last few years, like, instruction wise, I think the simple the better with that sort of stuff for tactics. Because I know people that put like 13, 14 instructions, sometimes it does overcomplicate it a little bit.
It's not even that. It's just a case of, if you've got players, if you're trying to play someone as a winger, but they, can't cross, don't play them as a winger. It's, it's real basic stuff. And a lot of people say about having a balanced formation and making sure that players, that you have like a variety of roles in like defence to attack and things like that. But honestly, you just play players
poppycock to all that.
Well, exactly. You play them in the best positions, and then all I do is I judge it based on the odds for the match. If I'm supposed to win, I'll play like controller attack.
Yeah.
If I'm supposed to be getting battered, then I'll put it on counter, and if it's somewhere in the middle, standard. That's it. And then next to no instructions unless something
attack every game.
Well, we know what
every game.
That doesn't always work though, does it?
Doesn't need to always work. That'd be boring.
All right, I'll let the people that have been sacked sort of sit in the corner, and I'll sit here on the top of my pile with my 2-2 degree.
Means we took a risk and we tried to make something happen. We tried to make.
Oh, you're just a bit rubbish.
Well, third division in Spain. Can you get sacked from that?
You can,
surely,
but I haven't been. I got promoted in 2 seasons. But if you'd have been watching, Kev, you'd know that. But you obviously haven't been, have you?
Well, I've been promoted twice in 2 seasons, so
Yeah, but I'm not.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't have money. That's the issue. Or just stuff.
Good at it.
The best thing I've
attack every game.
I think the best thing I've done on this game is reach the second round of the EFL Cup with Rotherham. That's the best. That's as far as I've gone. Like, literally, nothing works for me. Like, even like I'm coming up against flipping Scunthorpe in the EFL Cup. Come on, lads, get a bit of momentum going at the start of the season. We lose about 4-0, and it's like just no point, isn't there anymore? But with the Rotherham save, I was like, literally, you could see if you watched back that episode where I got sacked, I was almost in tears. Like, I was enjoying the save so much, because like it was at the point that it's always weird, because like with Wolves, I normally do pretty well because I know the players straight away. With a team like Rotherham, I'd not really looked too much into their team, so I never really knew any of their players. But like 4 or 5 episodes in, I was starting to get to know the players and like know who was good, who was rubbish, and like over the course of a few years, the team was totally different, but it was a team that I'd actually built, and actually players that I liked, and so on. So like at the point where it was getting a bit like, oh, you need 10 points from 5 games, and we didn't do it, and I thought, you know what, and I just saw the things pop up, available jobs, and I was like, literally, I just went like bright red, and I was almost like, I was so upset about it. And I didn't know what to do then, because there was loads of people in the comments saying, just carry on the save. And I thought, I just don't know, because at the same time, I don't know what save I would restart and do, because I never really had that many ideas.
Thing is though, it creates a natural narrative.
Yeah.
And which works great for this podcast, obviously. But the point is, like, if you carry on that save, you can whoever you manage next. And I, in case people haven't watched yet, no spoilers past this point. But there'll come a point when you face against Rotherham.
Yeah, for sure.
And that is just like, that's the culmination of all your hard work over the seasons you're at Rotherham.
Yeah.
And you get to show them who's boss.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
alternatively lose and get sacked again. So pick whichever narrative you want.
Yeah.
But I love it when that sort of stuff happens. I've only been sacked once ever, so but we'll save more details on that for when we go through mine at some point. But that's for when a guest bails.
Yeah. But yeah, as I say, I was just really, really upset. I did carry on the save, but as you say, we won't spoil it too much. But I think there will be a point maybe where we play Rotherham if I do go to that league again, or if I get them in the cup or something like that. So it'll always be interesting. But I thought that I would be able to bring some players with me to my new club, but literally either no one wanted to join or they were all pretty useless. So it kind of showed me how, at some points, how well I actually did with the Rotherham team, with how crap the players actually were. Because we did make the playoffs, but I think we relied solely upon like Kuki and stuff. And as soon as we lost him, we just kind of went down the drain slightly. So it was just one of them in the end.
I've found that in Spain is that, I get the difficulty of like players that you don't recognise. I mean, I'm not sure if you get it, Kev. Like when you particularly being lower down the levels of football. I know you're sort of getting back up now, but when you start, obviously it's just a sea of names of nobodies really. And unless you're particularly familiar with sort of lower league football, you're not going to recognise who they are. And I've got the added complication of being in Spain and really having no idea who lower league Spanish players are.
That's where all the fun comes from. Because I know nothing about football at any level, really. That's where I have my edge, as we saw with Liverpool, when it's players that people have heard of. I don't know who they are. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't name 10 Liverpool players for you. And I managed them for half a season. So, I haven't got a clue.
But I suppose it helps with, like, you don't see things with any bias, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
So you just take the players at their attributes rather than taking them by their reputation, which you might, or perhaps with a bit of like nostalgic love or something like that. But at least you just say.
Well, apparently spending £40 million on Kelechi Iheanacho was a bad idea.
That was nostalgic love gone wrong.
It looked all right in the game.
I was going to say that was nostalgic love gone wrong, wasn't it? Really.
I didn't know who he was. He just looked like he had good stats.
It wasn't. It was Thierry Ambrose, wasn't it? Not Iheanacho that you.
Oh, Thierry Ambrose. Yeah, you have to always sign Thierry Ambrose.
I got them confused. Sorry.
No, Thierry Ambrose is a hero.
Well, there you go. Right. Unless Kev has any other questions, I've got one more for Dave. But unless Kev has any more, we'll start wrapping up.
No, I think I asked both of mine earlier, and they were just both establishing how old Dave was. You criticise me for being too prepared. If that's too prepared, we're going to be fine on this podcast.
Well, my last question is a bit of an impromptu one, because I should have mentioned it earlier and I didn't, is where do you get your haircut, Dave? Because everyone's going to be wanting to know.
My sister actually does it. Yeah. Well,
can she do mine? I'm due a haircut.
Well, what happened was, let me try and think of the whole haircut backstory. When I was younger, I always used to just go for the one true nerd band, just like the grade 1 all over. That's what I used to do back in the day.
Professor Xavier cut.
So I used to have that when I was younger, and I think it was like it's like year 5, year 6 point. I was kind of just growing it out, and I don't know why. And it was then all of a sudden Justin Bieber came into fashion. Everyone thought I was copying Justin Bieber, but it definitely wasn't.
It was the Azzopardi special.
Yeah, it was. So whenever I went up to Wolverhampton, like town centre, everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's Justin Bieber." I was like, I don't think it is. So, but I think it was like really, really long at one point, and I just thought, you know what, let's cut it short back and sides, see what he looks like. And I did that, and like it was kind of a little fashion trend when I was like in year 8, year 9 at school, like this bit of a like just slicked back haircut. And I mean, everyone's moved on from it, but I just stuck with it, and it looks. I like it now. and it seems like everyone that watches my YouTube channel always talks about it as well. So I think it's something that I might actually try and do a logo and incorporate it in there somehow. Just make it my little sort of mascot, just a quiff or something like that on my logo. So yeah, my sister does it. She's like a qualified barber and hairdresser, so luckily I get it for free. She always moans when I ask, so I'll give you a $5. She just does the hair, but she never gets the $5, so it's just one of those, really. Yeah.
That's a great story.
Cheers, man.
Oh, thank you. Right. Anyway, and on that note, before we go, obviously it'd be rude if I didn't let Dave and Kev plug their stuff. So, Dave, where can people find you, and what can people see what you are doing right now? Well, not necessarily right now, because Kev's already been talking about not having trousers on. I don't really want to think about what you've not got on right now.
Don't worry, I'm fully clothed. Yeah, you can find me. Well, I'm always on Twitter. I'm always using Twitter. So yeah, I've got Twitter. I occasionally stream. When the game first came out, I streamed a lot. So my current stream save is a wall save, and we're like ridiculous. I think we're about 5 or 6 seasons into that. And so the current FA Cup holders on that, and on my YouTube, I don't want to spoil it. We did start with Rotherham, and now let's just say we moved to a team which probably are way too good for us as a manager. So you can check that out on my YouTube as well. So we kind of trying our best to upload daily, but there is a fair 4 or 5 videos out a week, I'd say, including now some kind of real life Wolves match day vlogs, which seem to be going down really, really well. So if you're into that sort of stuff, you can check that out as well.
Good.
Dave, remind the boys and girls what the channel name is.
I'll put it in the description down below.
That's right. Sorry, yeah, that's my actual name, which is DaveAzzopardi, which is DaveAzzopardi. There we go.
Smashing. Okay.
Splendid.
Where can people find you, Kev?
All over the goose-darned internet. Specifically, my YouTube channel is Lelujo FM, and I'm Lelujo on Twitter. So they're the best 2 places, and they'll link you off in all sorts of other directions, depending on what takes your fancy.
Oh, look at that. That's lovely. Well done. Nice and succinct. And he remembered his channel name. Remember that for next time, Dave.
Yeah, I will do. I just thought it would be in the video name. Everyone would kind of clock on.
But we're all after those sweet views. So
to be fair, I've for each of these so far, I forgot to introduce myself. So it's going well so far. So
you'd think that with it being on your channel, people might figure it out.
You never know. It might be like Twitch, and I'm just hosting someone else's shit. But hey, no, it's my own. So well done. Anyway, that's it really. Thank you for taking the time to listen. And if you've enjoyed the episode, please tickle the like button and share, subscribe, do all of that fancy stuff on my channel, which is this very channel, just in case I threw you with all that talk. That's One True Nerd, by the way. Yes, that's me talking. Well done. And whilst you're here, why don't you snoop around and see what else you might enjoy? It's all Football Manager-y stuff, or at least close to it. And you never know, you might learn something or enjoy it, something like that. Who knows? Watch. Yay. Okay, so it's goodbye.
Wow, that was even smoother than mine. Goodness me!
I've got the power of editing, you see, so I can screw you all over. I'll just put fart noises whenever Kev starts talking. I'll have some real fun with this.
Got to take some burping noises out that you might not have picked up over the Discord.
Excellent. Right, I'll redo that later. But it's goodbye from Dave.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Kev.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
That reminds me, before I say goodbye, this is the final episode before Christmas. Everyone have a fantastic Christmas, and I know I realised I've now fuck's sake. Good Lord. I now know that I have timestamped this with Christmas 2016 all over it, but who cares? Have a good one.
15, wasn't it?
Shut up.
Are you pretending? Are you pretending we recorded this just before it came out? It's Christmas 2015.
It's the 19th of the 12th, 2016.
2015.
Shut up.
Exactly.
Shut up. Stop ruining my outro. I really am going to have to re-record this because people are going to... Is it going to fucking end or what? Anyway. Yeah, so have a good Christmas, everyone, for the 3rd time. Thanks, Kev. And yes, don't get too smashed and enjoy your presents. Hopefully you got that jumpy you wanted.
Yeah, I'm glad you. I see why you wanted me to stop talking now, because you really had this ready to wrap up, didn't you?
I did. It was because I should have said. Anyway, we'll be back in the new year, so enjoy yourself over Christmas and New Year. And that rhymes. I'm keeping that. Anyway, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from everyone else. Adios. Merry Christmas.
Bye now.